Welcome back to another episode.
I'm Armani
And I'm Taj Muhammad, and this is the Peace of Mind podcast.
and on this show, we talk about the keys to living a more happy, a more healthy, and a more meaningful life.
We're huge on inner peace, and with that being said,
This is a piece of our mind.
Before we get started, I just wanted to give a huge shout out to all the viewers, everybody that's watching and supporting. Without you guys, none of this would be possible. You guys give us the inspiration for us to gain the knowledge that we learn, and the wisdom that we have to be able to empower you guys with what we've learned and experienced. So again, huge thank you to you guys. We appreciate all the support, all the DMs, all the follows, subscriptions, all that. It means the world to us.
Yeah, man, the love is overwhelming. You know what I mean? The Instagram followers, the subscribers, the comments, the DMs, like, we love you guys, man. And like you said, none of this, you guys, without you guys being here, none of this is possible. So again, thank you. Shout out to you. You inspire me to go out there and gain knowledge and wisdom so I can empower you guys to live a more happy, more healthy, and a more meaningful life. So just a reminder, you guys, we do have a giveaway going on. Go to our Instagram page, look for the post, and follow the directions in the comments to be entered in for $100 plus a free book, right? Who doesn't like free stuff? You know what I mean? So make sure you enter in that giveaway, tag us, do whatever you got to do. And with that being said, I'm super, super excited, super ecstatic for the topic that we have today. Today, we're going to be talking about goals and why goals are important. So why are goals important?
Goals are very, very, very important. Without goals, we're really just floating in space, floating through life, just letting it go by day. And, if you don't have any goals, you're going to wake up one morning and you're going to have half your life already gone. You're going to be old and growing up, you feel me? And that's not what we want. We want to be able to be fulfilled and be in the present moment every single day, you feel me? And a goal is really just going to help you, figure out what direction you want to take your life, and, how you want to create your own environment. And in this episode, we're super excited with the stuff we're going to share with you guys. Armani, you got
Yeah,
anything?
I mean, most drifters in life are usually the people who don't have goals. The people that seem lost, or the ones that have no sense of direction, are the ones who don't set goals for themselves. And it makes sense because they have no goal that they're shooting at. And Zig Ziglar once said, he said, if you aim at nothing, you'll hit it every time. You know what I mean? So, for me, why goals are important, I'm going to give you guys, some context, a story about Napoleon Hill. Most of you guys know who he is. He's an author, writer, speaker who wrote one of the most influential books on personal growth and financial independence that the world had ever seen. Think and Grow Rich. We all know that book, right? Napoleon Hill was mentored by, at the time, the second most wealthiest person in the world, Andrew Carnegie. And that gave him access to Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, all these financial giants in that era. And that gave him the ability to closely study and analyze them. And, his purpose, his definite vision was to figure out what separated them from people that weren't seeing the results that they wanted, right? So Napoleon Hill, over a 14-year period, studied and analyzed very closely more than 15,000 men and women, and he found something very important that we all need to listen to, right? He said that 95% of all who were analyzed were failures, and only 5% were successes. By the term failure, he meant that they had failed to find happiness in their daily work. And then he went on to say that 95% who were classed as failures were in that class because they had no definite purpose or definite goal in life. While the 5% who were successes, they did. That's very interesting. Now, I truly believe that there's two reasons why it's important to have goals. One, there's a psychological reason, and two, there's an economic reason. But first, let's focus on the psychological side of the question first. Taz, I truly believe that, it's a well-established principle of psychology that a person's actions are always in harmony with the thoughts that dominate his or her mind. Or another way to say it is our lives are always moving in the direction of our strongest thoughts. And most of us, we want to live the quote-unquote good life. But the problem is that we don't have a clear, definite vision of what that looks like. You know what I mean? So we're aiming at nothing, and if you aim at nothing, you'll hit it every time.
Every time.
You know, most of us are conditioned to think negatively, you know, about our problems. And the problem with that is that when your mind is being drowned with negative thoughts, it's almost impossible to live a positive life. You know what I mean? So I don't know if you wanted to touch up on that a little bit about negative thoughts and how they impact our results and how they relate to goal setting. Um, yeah, actually, no, touch on that.
Okay, so a negative mindset in general is something that majority of people don't even realize that they have because they're stuck living in the comfort zone.
Mm.
That's the place we don't want to be at all. And one thing that can really help you change that mindset and get out of it is realizing that it's there. You feel me? In order to be able to get to the places where you want to go in life and put your future in the direction where you want it to be, goals are very important, and those are super big factors in what helps you getting to where you want to go. You feel me? Like he said, if you aim at nothing, you're gonna hit it every single time. So take a person, for example, that might have goals, but instead of writing it down, which is what you should do when you have goals, is write them down, keeps a mental storage of it, or sarcastically just tells you when you ask them. If I went up to you, or say for example just a random person, majority of the time, if I ask them what are your goals for this month, they're gonna look at me like I'm crazy, like they never heard of that before.
Mm-hmm.
Or they're gonna say something in the remarks of like, oh, my goals is to just scrape up enough money to pay for these lousy bills this month. And
Mm.
those are not the type of goals that you want to have, but they are the goals that you could have unconsciously, because when you have a goal and set it in stone and figure out where you want to go and make a decision, then you'll be able to, keep yourself from having a goal like, oh, I got to pay these lousy bills this month. Because, if you were to look at a person that's happy and successful, you probably want to do what they're doing. You feel me? And when somebody is happy and successful, study them,
Mm-hmm.
figure out what they do, and you can get that yourself. A person who's happy and successful is definitely not waking up in the morning and saying to themselves, oh, I'm excited to go pay for these lousy bills this month. You feel me? Like, a successful person and a happy person knows exactly what they want. They make a decision and they go after it every single day like it's the last day that they have, and they be in the present moment with it. You feel
Mm-hmm.
me?
Yeah, and like I said, man, it's almost impossible to live a positive life when you're being drowned in negative thoughts. You know, when your mind is being drowned by negative thinking, you know, you're in this prison of insecurity, inferiority, anxiety, depression, doubt, fear. You'll most likely be in a state of inaction. You know, you will not take any action in your life, no matter what type of results you have and where you want to be. You won't take any action because of the way that you're thinking. Again, remember that our lives are always moving in the direction of our strongest thoughts. So if that's true, then what we should do is rewire the way that we think and shift our focus on our goals, because what you focus on expands, right? When you saturate your mind with a goal, a vision, a definite purpose, and you do it long enough, what you're doing is you're changing your subconscious program that'll automatically influence the action that you take. And that's why it's important to have goals for yourself, because it'll change your actions. And we all want better results, but we're going about it the wrong way. You know, most of us want to live a more happy, a more healthy life, but like I said, we're doing it the wrong way. We're trying to change the actions without going to the root of the problem. What's the root of the problem? It's our thoughts, right? You take a miserable person and they want to be happy, so the actions that they take is they might move to a new state, but their thoughts are still the same. Or they might go to a movie, but realize that happiness does not come from the outside. It comes from the inside. Our outer world is nothing but the manifestation of our inner world. So if you want your outer world to change, you're going to have to change and alter your inner world. And that starts with your thoughts. What thoughts dominate your mind, right? What are some of the things that you do to focus on your goals? Do you write your goals down? Do you wake up in the morning, read affirmations? What do you do? Tell the people what you do, and empower them and give them action steps that they can take to wake up with more clarity and more purpose and more drive.
One thing that, that's a great question, by the way. One thing that helps me keep my focus on my goals is, writing down my thoughts every single day. And writing down my reasons every single day. And when I talk about reasons, it's reasons why I wake up in the morning, reasons why I want to get my goals or whatever. You feel me? And not everybody is gonna have their goals figured out right away. It's hard to figure out what you want when you're stuck up in the thinking habits that you already have, because you're so caught up in all these problems that you've created in your life unconsciously. You don't even know that you created those problems. You feel me? And that's a problem. You have to know where your problem is first before you can fix it. And for me, one thing that helps me focus on my goals is writing down my thoughts every single day. In the past, before I was led to the mentorship that I have today and to surround myself around people like you, one thing that I didn't know was that you should not have your goals in your head, keeping a mental storage. It's gonna get lost. It's not organized. Everything's up in there. You feel me? You gotta write it down. So when you write it down, one thing that you can do is, write down your reasons why you want to be successful. And I'll touch up on that in our next segment. You feel me? But journaling and writing your thoughts down on paper and physically seeing what's going on inside of you is really going to help you figure out what you need to work on for yourself. And, once I figured out what problems I needed to work on personally, that really helped me, find a place to focus and grow. But that's
writing your goal down is so important. I mean, in the Bible, in Habakkuk 2:2, it says, write the vision on tablets and make it plain, that he may run who reads it, so that you may take action when you read it. On a scientific level or a psychological level, right? When you look at something every single day, you read it every single day, the same thing every single day, what you're doing is you're changing and you're altering your subconscious program so that it automatically influences the actions that you take, right? So when you write it down and you force yourself and you deliberately place that goal in your mind, you're choosing to focus on something of a more positive nature rather than choosing to focus on your problems, right? And when you focus on your problems, it's not surprising why most people attract more problems, because that's what thoughts dominate their mind. We tend to attract things into our life that are in resonance with the thoughts that we think. You know what I mean? So if a person is focusing on their problems, focusing on their bills, man, I got bills coming in. Imagine what comes in their mailbox. Bills. You know what I mean? Bills. So I think it's very powerful that you said that we need to write our goals down. You know what I mean? So now let's shift our attention to the economical side of the question. Let's be real, bro. Hard work and good intention is not sufficient enough to create everlasting and enduring and fulfilling success. Let me tell you why. Right? You can take a person who has hard work, who works hard and has good intentions, and put him in a warehouse, but that will do him no justice because that will not be fulfilling, right? But if a person sat down to think about what type of work he would enjoy doing best, he could get such greater returns for his labor. Now, let me give you guys another example. Let's take a magnifying glass. When you take a magnifying glass and just put it in the air, it has no purpose. But when you take a magnifying glass in a certain position and you have the sun's ray coming through the magnifying glass, and you focus the sun's ray on a given object, let's say a piece of paper, then eventually, right, you're focusing the sun's rays on that object, and eventually that object will begin to burn. But if you take that magnifying glass off of that paper, then you can take that same sun rays, focus it on the object for millions of years, but it won't burn. Right? So until you decide what definite vision or goal you want to work towards, you dissipate all your energies in all different type of directions, leading to indecision and weakness, not power. And what's power? Organized effort. You got to learn how to take your energy, your effort, your good intentions, and focus it on a vision that you want to create in your life. Now let's talk about how to create a goal. How did you go about creating goals? How do you write down and think about your goals? You know what I mean? So tell them, you know what I'm saying? Empower them. How do you do it so they can do the same things that you do?
One thing that really helped me come up with my goals was just journaling, writing down my thoughts every single day, all the struggles I'm going through mentally, all the struggles I'm going through outside circumstances that's coming coming back to me, um, me writing down my problems every single day and my good thoughts every single day made me realize what I needed to work on and what I'm already good at. This is why you should never keep a mental storage, because if I just came up to you and asked you, what are you good at and what are your worst qualities, you probably only name a couple things. You won't know it down to a T. What journaling helps me do with not only my goals, but with myself, is figuring out how to work with myself, how to talk to myself, just how to grow as a person.
Mm-hmm.
And once I was able to look back and reflect on everything that I wrote down in the past however long, that really helped me realize, like, dang, I did this on that date. I don't like that. I need to change that. I need to fix that. Or I did this and it made me feel really good. Let me write that down again and remember that in the future time so I could feel good again. And once I figured out what made me feel good and what I needed to really work on, now I'm starting to really discover who I am as a person. And now that I discovered who I am as a person, now I get to writing down, reasons to why I wake up, reasons to why I go to work every single day, and why I chase my dreams. Everybody will have different reasons for success, because everybody has a different definition of success. Excuse me. So if you feel like you work better when you're motivated by, appearance, you want to keep up a good look, that's a reason to be successful. Or you want to be motivational, that's a reason to be successful. Or you just want to buy your parents a house, that's a reason. Once you write down all your reasons and get it down onto a piece of paper, go through that list and look through it. Read through them out loud and remember which ones, make you feel the best inside. Because feeling is the most important part. And once you realize, oh, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. Regardless of what you're going through in the current moment, think about what you want for your future. Circle those few things that you want and focus on those things. In order to achieve those goals, all you have to do is know where you're at, which is your current circumstances. Are you satisfied with where you're at? If not, you need to know where you want to go. And once you know where you're at and where you want to go, that's 99% of the problem. And it's all it takes to get to your goal is hard work. You feel me?
Man, what you just said was so powerful. And I wanna unfold it and break it down a little bit. First of all, you said whatever makes you feel the best, write it down. And that's so powerful because, take a look back at your life and take out a piece of paper and a pen and really reflect in retrospect on the things that made you feel alive and write it down. Because those are the type of things that might, bring you everlasting and fulfilling success, happiness, health, and wealth. You know what I mean? So my answer to how to create a goal is, desire is the factor in determining what your goal is. So the feeling, what makes you feel good? If you had the opportunity to do what you wanted to do and make a living out of it, that would wake you up in the morning, what would you do? Write it down. The thoughts and the random moments of inspiration that we get, that's God trying to speak to you.
Facts.
So write it down. God's always looking for willing vessels to carry out his visions. You have to be willing though first, and you have to be open-minded, right? All it takes is for you to take that vision that God is giving you and write it down. Again, Habakkuk 2:2, it says that write the vision down on tablets and make it plain, that he may run who reads it. So make sure you write down the goal, man. Make sure you write down the goal. And I was doing some studying over the week, and in a Harvard business study, it's about goal setting, right? So number one, 83% of respondents, they had no goals, which explains why 95% of people are not successful, meaning they don't find happiness in their lives. Number two, 14% of respondents had plans, but they had not written them down. So they had nothing to focus on. They had no sense of direction. And number three, 3% of respondents had written down their goals. They were 3 times more likely to succeed than the group who had some plan in mind. So when you have these ideas, don't just think it because you'll forget it. Don't trust in your memory, like Taj was saying. Write it down and look at it. Create a desire for it. Take action on it. And that brings us to the next point, right? Once you decide take
take action.
action.
Take action for sure.
You know, I truly feel like that the illusion of perfection is what's stopping people from, just starting. They want things to be perfect. They want things to align right now. They want to get a gym membership. They want to buy all this equipment, but all you have to do is put your shoes on, lace them up, open the door, and start running. You're working out. Or whatever type of goal that you have, man, just go take action. Stop preparing. Stop being in a preparing mindset. Because as long as you do that, right, then God will not go to work in God's way to help bring the people, the opportunities, the situations into your life that'll help you manifest that goal, man. A good example of just starting is me and Taj with this podcast. We came together masterminded and we decided, just to take action. And that's the biggest part, is just deciding, because when you decide, then God will go to work in God's way again to help you, to bring people in your life, to help manifest that goal into your life. You know what I mean? So I don't know if you wanted to touch up on that, but
I mean, honestly, I have a question for you actually.
Mm-hmm.
So, looking back at your whole journey these past 3 or 4 years, you've had success in trading and network marketing, and now here soon with our podcast. What has goal setting done for your life in a positive way?
That's a good question. Goal setting has impacted my life in many ways. My happiness, my health, and my wealth. It's given me a sense of direction. It gave me something to work toward instead of staying stagnant or feeling like I wasn't going anywhere in life. You know what I mean? So being able to set a goal and have something to aim at gave me the ability to shift my focus, my attention from my problems to from my current circumstances to something of a more creative nature. Because in life you're either growing or you're dying. So that it taught me an important lesson, which is just to focus on something that'll bring you, something what you can create. You know what I mean? That's how it's impacted my life. With my health, most people want a more healthier life, but they don't set specific goals. They don't have a vision of what they want their body to look like. You know what I mean? So they'll work out, and then 2 weeks later they'll stop because they don't have a vision. They have no vision to work towards. Another thing is with money. The reason why a lot of people don't see success financially is because they don't have a vision of what they want their life to be financially in the future. You know what I mean? So in Proverbs 29:18 it says that where there is no vision, the people perish. So it's very important to set a vision for your life, because a vision is what gives you direction. A vision is what gives you knowledge, and it gives you the intuition that you need to know who belongs in your life. Because a lot of the times when you don't have a vision, then you don't know who belongs in your life. So you'll allow people in your life that'll be detrimental to your success. That'll put evil habits into your heart, into your life. You know what I mean? So that's what really goal setting has done for me. It's changed the whole dynamic of my life, and I'm grateful that I was taught and became aware of this information, because it's so empowering, and we just want to empower you guys to do the same. You know what I mean? So
I like that answer, bro. Touching up on vision, man. That's why it's so important to document all of your thoughts and goals on a piece of paper. You feel me? I'm not, a pro at, Bible verses, but I do study it a little bit. And one thing you may have heard, which is very, very practical, and if you use it in your life, it will help a lot, is you probably heard this: ask
and you shall receive.
Just ask.
Yeah.
Just ask and describe what you want. You feel me? Describe it down to a T. If you want health, if you want $1 million, don't just say, "Oh, I want $1 million." Describe your whole entire vision. What type of car are you going to drive? What type of house are you going to live in? What people are going to be in your life still? Once you create that vision and have that end goal in your mind, your goals, it's going to be that much easier to create your environment. Like he was talking about, you may not know, who's holding you back. But once you have your goals in mind, you'll realize that if somebody is not aligning with what your future is in store for you, then you'll be able to realize, okay, maybe it's time for me to, take a step back from hanging around this person for a certain period of time. You feel me? So vision is super important. And once you have that vision, write it down, describe it on a piece of paper, and take action immediately. Because you can, like you said, prepare as much as you want, but none of it's going to matter until you take action.
I challenge you guys, when you do decide and you do take action, I want you guys to think big. Like, don't set small goals. Just know that, God lives in each and every single one of us. And with that being said, nothing is impossible when he's by your side. So think big, man. Like, if you want to be a millionaire, become a millionaire. If you want an 8-pack, but, you might be 200 pounds overweight, set that goal, because anything is possible when you have him by your side. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, we always like to close off the podcast, this episode, with quick advice. So I'll go ahead and let you start off with the quick advice to, live a more happy, more healthy, meaningful life.
Study, man. You want to be happy, study happy people. You want to be wealthy, study wealthy people. Don't leave your goals and dreams up to hope. Don't just wish and hope for a better life. Be the change that you always wish for. You can hope for all the change that you want, but nothing's gonna change until you change. If you don't like where you're at, leave. You're not a tree. You're not a tree, so you can do anything you want as long as you put your mind to it. So just make sure you study anything that you want to be successful in, and just find the people that have the results that you want, and study them as much as you can so you can get the results that they have.
That's powerful, bro. I love that. Mine is not it's advice, but it's more of a quote. And it goes like this: our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking, so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. It's not just in some of us, it is in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. So with that being said, I challenge each and every single one of you guys to go out there and take actions on your dreams, take actions on your goals, and spread your story, because you never know whose life you might honestly change. It says, as you are liberated from your own fear, your presence automatically liberates others. So empower people, inspire people, motivate people. You know what I'm saying? And that's it for this podcast, man. That's it for this episode. Before we go though, again, the giveaway. You want to touch on the giveaway again?
Yep. So in order to, receive the free stuff, like you said, who doesn't like free stuff? It's a book and $100. Make sure that you look at our recent Instagram posts and follow all the steps in there, and you'll be able to win the free stuff. And our Instagram is POMPODCAST _POMPODCAST_, and that's where you can find our giveaway. Make sure to follow all the steps, and you could be a winner.
Make sure you follow us on Instagram, subscribe to our YouTube, follow us on our personal IGs as well. It'll be posted on the screen. Again, last but not least, thank each and every single one of you guys for watching, tuning in, and spending your time, because time is the most valuable asset that we all have. Spending your time listening to our words, listening to the knowledge that we have. So that's it for me, man. I don't know if you want to end off anything else, but thank you guys.
I just wanted to give a big shout out and big thank you to you guys once again. Stay tuned for our next episode. A lot more great things on the way, and we're excited to share our knowledge and wisdom with you guys, as well as getting our inspiration from you guys. So that's it for this episode, man.
We'll see y'all in the next one.
Deuce.